I do think Bitcoin just continues to accelerate. I use the log channel and it just does that. It just continues. It works like magic. These people are smart. They're really, really fucking smart people. I think the probability is much higher than the market expects. So Bitcoin is not the main show over time. What we're seeing is all these other use cases as well that's coming out of the crypto space. So yeah, look, I do think Bitcoin just continues to accelerate. I use the log channel, and it just does that. It just continues. It works like magic, and that's what network adoption looks like. So you project it forwards, in a few years' time, it should be $1 million. That's kind of all we need to know. How it gets there, kind of irrelevant.
When you say few years, what time frame are you targeting for that?
Well, if you just extrapolate the log channel, it's something like 3 years. 3, it could be 5, but not very long, right? But what's really interesting is what else happens in that. Yeah. Because every new phase, there's a whole new set of opportunities that we get given as the market matures, new things happen. That's what's really exciting to me. The kind of owning in Bitcoin and ETH, fine, you just keep hold of it, whatever, some XRP, some of this stuff, no problem. It's what else goes on. That's where really the excitement lies.
What are the next big things? Like what 4 or 5 years from now are we going to look back on and say, man, we didn't see that coming? What are some trends or some ideas that you think?
People are writing off the Web 2 platforms like Facebook, Meta. It's not going to happen. Twitter. Cut forward 5 years, they're going to have Web 3 integration, all of them. Facebook, people have to understand, is a 4 billion person network. Within 5 years, we'll have also launched the central bank digital currencies, whether they're private sector ones like Circle.
That's my big prediction. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Or whether they're public ones, maybe the ECB tries to do a public. Either way, that's now given everybody the on-ramp and off-ramp to go into the digital world. And that's definitely coming. The sovereign wealth funds, so these are the big pools of capital from wealthy nations. That's different to the central bank's reserves. This is the wealth of nations. That is coming because I'm speaking to them and I know that they're doing it. So that's coming. We also know that all of the investment banks are now building out all sorts of products in the space, the ability for people to trade options. So that's all coming too. We know there's a whole raft of new investment management product. That's happening. But the big thing that just happened was $32 billion last year went into VC. So here we are. And you see it written on Twitter is what you do in bear markets is build. This is when you start building businesses. And I'm building 2 businesses in the space and everybody's doing stuff. What's going to come out the other side of this is wallets, security in ways that you can't, it's so clunky right now. It's terrifying moving money from your MetaMask to your Ledger and all of that stuff. That's all going to get solved. The wallet issue is going to get solved. Integrations everywhere is going to get solved. That's all coming. Then we'll see, I think DeFi, we saw the first wave. Everyone's now learning, building. We got another wave of that to come. That's going to be interesting. I think NFTs have barely started. Agreed. Where that's going as a space. The use cases, I think all ticketing is going that way, for example. Because everything is a proof of attendance protocol, tickets and all sorts of stuff is coming there. And I think the really big one that I talk about all the time, because I'm also involved in building a business involved in this, is social tokens. So we've barely seen them yet. So I talk about them. People go, I don't really know what you're talking about. Bored Ape Yacht Club, Yuga Labs, amongst their 3 projects, had about an audience of about, call it 40,000 people. Those 40,000 people owned a bunch of OG assets. Then they launch the Ape token, and the Ape token is worth $3 billion or $4 billion as of today. Okay, where the hell did that come from? 4 times the size of the original assets? It's because everybody wants to be involved in that community, and this is your currency to be involved. And we haven't started where this is going. Every sports team, every massive pop star, every film, movie franchise, fashion brands, it's all going this way. So the NFT craze we've got now, cut forward to 3 years' time, and we're all going to be talking, whose networks do we own a part of? Oh my God, I've just discovered this pop star. They've just had a massive #1 hit single. My token's gone up 300x. Oh, wow. That's the world we're going to go to. So it's just us getting more digital. Like you and I would have done this 5 years ago in person. We'd have had to book flights and all that. Now we do it digitally, right? So we're just used to this. So there's a bunch of experiences that are being built now. So this is like the first website. So it started with Decentraland Sandbox and those, I own a bunch of those tokens, but they're very clunky. In fact, to be honest, they're shit. But people are still building in Sandbox because they think something different's coming. We've seen what Epic Games has done in the gaming world, but we're not seeing that in the crypto world because it's not decentralized. But then you've seen what Punk 6529 has done with this open metaverse, built on that thing called On Cyber. And it's like, this is a full, high-resolution web browser experience where you can put it on your phone, you can watch it on that, you can put it on your iPad, and it's incredible. I'm like, okay, that was a game changer. Punk6529 saying, well, you can build in there. So you can build your, BitBoy crypto community in there, show your NFTs off, all that stuff, and the community can do it, and it's free. It's like, okay, this is really interesting. So Metaverse is coming at us fast. Again, it's one of those things that people don't see it until it's in their face.
Yeah.
But, if you and I had talked about this 5 years ago, that, we're going to have media businesses and we just do it from our home by just using Zoom.
Evolution of technology. That's what I tell people. I mean, people say, why is crypto going to make it? Why is it? Because it's better than what we've had. Like, it's a better system. Therefore, technology will vote that in. That's what always happens. And
if it's not perfect now, it'll get better over time because everybody's incentivized to do so.
So I just can't see a world where Facebook, whose data and, who's basically their data theft in a lot of ways and stealing our privacy has become their business. It's hard for me to imagine a world that they can transition into Web3 and leave that behind. Is there a way they can do both, where they can steal everybody's privacy data and open it up in an interoperable way?
I've spoken to some really, really senior people there, and my guess is there is an internal discussion still. There's a whole group. There's a large group of people there who are really strong Web3 people, and they're like, we need decentralization, we need interoperability of assets.
Yeah.
There are some people who want a more protected world because they're monetization. I get it, right? Because people are paid on what they're paid on, and there's some guy who's going to be paid, some guy or girl is going to be paid for revenue that comes out of advertising.
Right.
And it's hard for them to accept that they'll be out of a job if they change it. These people are smart. They're really, really fucking smart people. I think the probability is much higher than the market expects that they figure this out. They're taking a massive bet. Right, Twitter's nowhere really in this yet, but they could get into this.
Twitter's never really been anywhere,
Google have done nothing. Google have done nothing. Apple don't really need to. They can accept tokens, but that's it. It doesn't really matter to them. Sure, you could have an Apple coin, but it doesn't. But Facebook, I think there's a higher probability than people expect. And will it be perfect? Will it appease the true decentralists? No. Will it bring 1 billion people into crypto and digital assets? Yes. That's why I care about it. I don't care about perfection. I care about the adoption of this technology.
Makes sense.
Perfect or imperfect will lead to better outcomes in the end, because as you said, it's an iterative process of improvement. So if you start with a Facebook NFT, but you can move it around and do something with it, you're in the game now.
Yeah.
And you're learning about the value of this stuff.